there's a black employee sues major dealership for discrimination, says he was called the N-word for years, put him up full mask. I will explain to you what happened. So this employee has sued a dealership. It has a discriminatory history according to the allegation. Illinois attorneys for Andre Jennings filed a suit last September against Ed Napleton Elmhurst Imports, Inc. That is a big automotive dealer. The complaint states that Jennings worked at one of the company's dealerships called Napleton's Kia of Elmhurst, where he and his black colleagues were, quote, subjected to an ongoing racially hostile culture where frequent racial slurs, comments, stereotypes, and jokes saturated the workplace, end quote. The harassment against Jennings started April 2019, that's according to the suit, and was carried out by the dealership's white managers almost every day. One of those managers, quote, casually and openly called Jennings and his black colleagues the N-word, and in multiple instances where Jennings would make a sale, that same manager would say, quote, take this deal back to finance, my N-word, the complaint states. He was repeatedly using the N-word and called me my N-word, Jennings said of his former white supervisor. Quote, I'm talking about repeated occurrences. He thought it was friendly. He even joked about it, used the word shines. It just got uncomfortable. He told this to Atlanta Black Star. The suit also alleges that when black customers voiced dissatisfaction with the deals, Jennings' supervisor would tell him to go calm your people down, or tell him, you know how to handle your own kind, end quote. He would refer to black people as the blacks. I know someone else who does that. And claimed they were, quote, not as educated as white people, end quote. White supervisors and colleagues would also often joke and make references to, of course, fried chicken or other harmful tropes and stereotypes directed at black people. In addition to the harassment, Jennings claims he and his black colleagues were subjected to excessive scrutiny and discriminatory treatment if they committed so-called infractions that their white counterparts were never penalized for doing, like parking in a certain space or certain spaces and leaving work early. The suit cited one incident where a white employee was caught smoking marijuana in an unsold car and was never disciplined for it. The dealership even purposely withheld commissions from its black employees who were paid less than their white colleagues. The complaint alleges Jennings told Atlanta Black Star he saw multiple black salespeople quit the company because they weren't paid what they were owed. Jennings was also denied opportunities for advancement on multiple occasions, even though he has more than 25 years of experience. Yet his former supervisors would hire other white individuals with little industry experience and directly place them in management positions. The Federal Trade Commission and the state already ordered the automotive company to pay $10 million in April 2022 for doing what? Discriminating against black people, black customers, and sneaking illegal junk fees into their bills. At the time the settlement was announced, Jennings was suspended from work for parking in the wrong parking space, according to his complaint. His managers called him back to work almost immediately after the news broke, which Jennings feels was a charade to show the public the dealership had black employees. Jennings' suit seeks compensatory and punitive damages for the emotional distress, retaliation, and desperate treatment and hostile work environment. Other black individuals who have worked at the same dealership have reached out to Attorney Hall Jackson seeking to file lawsuits and share their discriminatory workplace experiences. This is horrible. Literally, they already are on record for being racist. The state was alerted, made an issue about it, and they're still engaged in the conduct according to the recent allegation. I'm very thankful for the gentleman for stepping up. This likely will turn into a class action lawsuit. We are going to wait for the update and give it to you as it comes. Ben, hell of a thing.
Yeah, it's just very shocking and confusing that this is still the state of affairs so prevalently in American society. You almost wonder if maybe there's a lack of leadership from on top in recent years, or maybe even leadership that encourages this sort of racial animus to exist. I know that in certain parts of the country, they have never really grown up past their disgusting and immature racial bias and discrimination and racial slurs of times gone by that apparently have not gone by in certain parts. But when you had a president for 4 years that is now still leading, who has encouraged people to separate themselves by race, who has referred to black people as the blacks or my blacks, as Trump so often has, who encourages rallies that are racist and discriminatory in nature. You just have given permission to millions of people to unleash their worst selves. And you see that in the workplace. And, thank goodness this pitiful excuse for a company already just had to pay $10 million. Hopefully they'll have to pay a lot more when this suit comes through and then other employees. I just hope that while you can't always appeal to the better nature of people, because not all people seem to have that better nature readily available, you can appeal to their pocketbooks. And if we become a society that truly ostracizes, shuns, punishes, and fines people that treat others as less than, maybe people will at least keep their prejudiced thoughts in the back recesses of their minds instead of at the front of their tongues. And we might live in a more calm, kind, and caring society, at least outwardly, one that is more welcoming to people who are every bit as American, every bit as part of the fabric of our society as all of us are.
Well said. Very well said.